Spilling Ink is brought to you by Book Branders, your self-publishing concierge. Hey everybody, it's your favorite host Jason from Spilling Ink, and I'm here to tell you about a very cool experience that I had about a week ago. I was fortunate enough to be able to attend the Ace Comic-Con Midwest in Chicago, and I brought my family with me. We had a great time. We spent all of our money on the vendors and got cool swag to bring home. We got to meet some very cool actors while we were there. They had Chris Evans and Tom Hiddleston and Karen Gillan and Matt Smith. It was just a really cool convention, and we had a blast. While I was there, I did a few interviews with some of the artists that were showcasing their work there, and artists that were up on stage talking about their work. So this video is a compilation of all the interviews that I did and some of the cool cosplay that we saw. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you stick around for the next episode. Thanks so much. See ya. Hi everybody, this is Jason Lavelle, your favorite host of Spilling Ink, the talk show that brings you behind the book to meet the authors and artists in the publishing industry. Today I'm here at Ace Comic-Con Midwest with the founder, Mr. Garrett Seamus. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for coming here.
It's wonderful to be here, and this place is packed.
Oh, thank you.
It's awesome. Do you have any estimates on your attendance numbers yet?
No, not yet. But our shows are about being a lot more boutique, actually, because we didn't want to create a 100,000 person show. We wanted to make sure that we created an experience for people, and that everybody that's here can feel special and participate.
Well, it's nice. There's a lot of people, but I can still get to the different vendors without being squished.
Yeah, we definitely limit the tickets. I mean, we definitely want to make sure that people are they're not pushed and shoved, that they have time to experience what they want.
Oh no, this is a far cry from a small art shop. So, did you think when you were starting out that it would ever get this big, that you would ever be doing this?
Absolutely not. I mean, you kind of just want to get to the next step. And what winds up happening is it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And as a matter of fact, when we did our first Comic-Con in Chicago, back in the mid-90s, it actually wasn't even a business. It was really meant to just be a party for the magazines. And so many people showed up that it was like, wow, we could do this a lot more often.
That's fantastic. Well, what's going to be next for you as far as the Comic-Cons go?
Well, for Ace, it's really about bringing in the biggest celebrities in the world and giving access to people to things that they would never normally have access to. And that's really what it's all about. It's really about building community. It's about having, being very inclusive so that everything that goes on that you can have access to it. So it's bringing more of the biggest and best celebrities that people want to see that they would have never gotten to see and never meet in their life or take a photo with. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. We have a whole second stage and a first stage going, so we've got programming going on all weekend long, but like the most fun stuff that you'd want to see. We're constantly upgrading, our what we're providing to people in terms of an experience, and then we're also bringing in a lot of the top artists and writers, that have created a lot of the most incredible characters that we're all in love with.
Well, and what do you think is the main reason these are successful? Is it the celebrities? Is it the artists? Is it the people? What is it? What makes it work?
For us, it's really about building that community. And what I think a lot of people in the comic book world, like we go to a lot of these maybe Comic-Cons and stuff, and the focus is comic books. And when you come to an event like what we're doing, we're really pioneering in the sense that our show's about people that love the superheroes. And so many people have discovered the characters through movies and television and not through comic books. And we didn't want them to feel like, that the place is, if they don't know everything of the history, that they're not invited. We wanted to make everybody that loves these characters feel welcome. And that's really kind of the heart of what we do. And when we open it up to everybody, this is what happens.
Well, I think that's great. And my own kids have never read a comic book.
Right.
I grew up with comic books, but my own kids watch the movies, and they love the movies.
Right.
And I don't care that they don't know what happened in, issue 172 of this or that.
Right.
It's just cool that they're a part of it.
Right, and you love your kids, and not because they don't know the comic book history. You love them because they appreciate the characters.
Yeah.
And that's what these events that we're doing are about. It's about making sure that people like that feel comfortable here and not feel intimidated that, you're going to a comic book show and, that's not for them.
Well, and it's strange because we have a lot of different people here, and there are a lot of different vendors, and there is a lot of different genres that these people are liking. However, everybody's getting along.
Yes.
You know, it's almost like a little bit of a utopia here.
Yeah.
You know what? How does that happen? You know, how do so many people, so many strange different people, come together in one building and just share the love?
Because that's really at the heart of what we do, and we've been doing it for so long. We really prepare people before they get here, what to expect, what they're in for, what they want to see, how they want to see it, and when they come prepared like that, and they come with the right attitude, they're going to have the greatest time in their life. And that's really what it's all about. And it goes back to really the heart of our company, and I keep saying it, it's about experience and community. And everything that we do, all the literature that we put out, all the social media that we put out, everything that we talk to the celebrities about, it's all about making sure that people are here to have a great time, to enjoy themselves, to bring their friends, bring their family, and have an amazing time.
And you put on these great events for us, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're an artist yourself. You have
Absolutely.
work shown in galleries in New York and out west.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I love the art. I literally have thousands of friends that are some of the most incredible painters, illustrators, and artists in the world. And then to be able to now get onto the fine art side, I don't do comic book art. I could never compare myself to Jim Lee or anybody like that, believe me. So, you know, I'm in the fine art world. And now it's great because I really do experience what artists and all creators kind of go through, you know, from their side, and see what they've been through and how they overcome that. And also, I was on that side for a long time as a curator, right, with all the magazines and events. Our whole life is about curating the right artists and illustrators and writers. And now, to be one, it's like I know what to look for. I know what people on the other side are looking for. So,
Wonderful. Well, it's a beautiful show. We thank you very much. And thank you for your time today.
Oh, my pleasure. Really great. Thank you.
Have a great day, sir. I hope you got a lot of success with the show.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, everybody. It is your favorite host, Jason Lavelle from Spilling Ink, the talk show that takes you behind the book to meet the artists and authors in the publishing industry. I am here today at Ace Comic-Con Midwest with our guest, Joey Costa. How's it going tonight, Joey?
Good. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing excellent.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Joey, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm head of an independent production company called Excavation Pictures. We develop original content, original characters, new, really, universes in the comic book industry. So a few years ago, we had this idea to transform Cupid from a cherub into a heart surgeon that can behaviorally transform people through heart surgery. Last year, we launched our graphic novel featuring the art of Glenn Fabry, who did The Preacher, which is now an AMC series. And really, we launched it last year. We're on Comixology and Amazon, and we sold out at New York Comic Con, sold out at Phoenix, and we're having some success here, so really looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
do the people have to pay for the heart surgery too before they're altered?
So in volume 1, I guess I'll give you the pitch.
Yes, give me the pitch.
So volume 1, Cupid Under the Gold Knife, is about heart surgeon Dr. Gabriel Cupidian, better known as Dr. Cupid. He's a rock star surgeon, performs surgeries in amphitheaters that physicians come just to see him operate. He has a procedure he has yet to perform on a living person called the Eudemus procedure, which can behaviorally transform someone through heart surgery.
Okay.
So in volume 1, this gets the attention of the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, which is an actual unit in the FBI that identifies and prevents mass terror. They recruit Dr. Cupid to behaviorally transform and for the first time perform the Eudemus procedure on the most wanted captured terrorist.
Okay.
So that's volume 1, and I'll leave it at that, but I don't want to spoil too much.
No, it sounds great. It sounds dark and twisted and cool at the same time.
Yep.
But how did you get started doing this?
So about like a decade now, my buddy and I had a lot of ideas we wanted to bring to life, and originally we thought we wanted to do movies, but when we started talking to studios, it seemed like best case scenario, we get a paycheck and we lose all creative control. So we raised money, and it was a little bit at the time, but it allowed us to hire an artist to do the cover art. Then we got some more that we put aside from work because we work full time as well. We put aside and we raised enough to do our own graphic novel, and the artists believed in us. They gave us lower rates, and it was just a really great scenario that we were able to bring this thing to life, and especially Glenn Fabry was willing to work with us, which was really cool.
That's right. And it's beautiful cover art.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it is very, very nice cover art.
Yeah.
So you own the company
Yes.
that's creating this, and it's Excavation
Pictures. My co-founder and I, Nick Kostin, who's a screenwriter, NYU Tisch trained and a Hollywood screenwriter, is my other co-founder. So we started this about 5 years ago.
Now, are you going to take on other artists and authors as well, or is it going to be solely the Cupid series?
Yeah, so right now we're building out the Cupid universe, but that brings us to our next character. This is Lily Skyland, West Point cadet, and also most sought after drone operator in the world. She is going to be the focus of our next iteration of Cupid, the Cupid universe. We're launching a Kickstarter next month, actually, to bring this to life and allow people to vote on, does Lily Skyland, does she kill or does she let her enemies live?
Okay.
What is she like as a character? So we're really excited to do that, but Lily Skyland ultimately will protect New York from an aerial attack and catch the attention of Cupid, and then that's where she ties back into the universe. But this will be called Citizen Skyland.
Okay. Very cool.
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Here's the black and white too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So you've got all sorts of cool merch that you're selling today. You said you sold out at New York,
Yes,
right?
we sold out at New York's Ace Comic Con. We sold out at Phoenix's Ace Comic Con, and then we're doing pretty well on Amazon and Comixology too.
Okay. So the Comic-Con scene really works for you then?
Yeah, I personally, my co-founder couldn't make it because he's getting married in a few weeks, but we love it because we get to get it out in the wild. We get to talk to people that are true fans. So yes, the Comic-Con from a sales perspective is great, but even more than that, it's just being able to practice our pitch, get feedback from readers, and really get it out there. Because, our story 10 years from now that we make is, we want it to be an evolution for us from a creative perspective, everything like that. And I really think being here is what allows us to really hone in and get our finger on the pulse of what people want, what they don't like, and kind of learn from that.
Yeah. Well, and when I initially walked by your booth and you flagged me down and gave me your pitch,
Yeah.
I was really impressed. It was a very well polished pitch.
Cool, thank you.
Which I like, which is super important if you're going to be doing these conventions.
Yeah.
So just a couple more quick questions for you.
Yeah.
We have a lot of young authors and artists that come on our show, and they're talking about how they have this great idea for a graphic novel or a comic, but it never goes any further than that because they start thinking about all the costs involved or where could I even submit this thing, and they give up. They drop it. So what can you tell young artists that are trying to get into this business?
So I kind of think of it very tactically. So to make a graphic novel, you need, I think, 4 key players. You need someone that's going to kind of be the business savvy from publishing to contracting to just covering your bases from a business perspective. You need a writer, a really hell of a good writer that's going to make a banger script that's just awesome, people are engaged, right? And you're going to need an interior artist and a cover artist, right? Those are, like, to me, the kind of power squad you need. And for any up-and-coming artist, I think the scenario varies. Like, if you have a great idea and you're an artist, that's one thing. If you're an artist, don't have a story idea, that's another thing. So there's different scenarios, but running with the first one, an artist that has a great idea that wants to bring it to life, in my mind, if you don't have the finances to get that made, you either have to find people that do and get them bought in on the vision, or you get a team in place and you have them, and that's what I did. You get them bought in on the vision, and it's sweat equity. It's you guys build a company together, you get a piece of it, and you bring it to life as much as you can with those skill sets. So Nick, my co-founder, is a screenwriter. He writes the script, right? I'm the one coming up with the initial concept with him. I'm going through the publishing, contacting the artist. So bringing that team together in the most cost-efficient way. And then the publishing, printing side, there's ways now you can do it fairly cheap. Now, Amazon, there's a company called CreateSpace that was bought by Amazon, but you can do on-demand printing. Those are options, even though I think the artist kind of gets screwed in those scenarios. It's a good way. It's a good way to at least get it out there, get reviews, and then you can print them at a. So, for instance, let's say CreateSpace, if they charge you $7 to print, you get in a Comic-Con, you scramble up $1,000 to buy a booth, you print out how many you think you'll sell, know you're going to sell 50 of them, and even though it costs you money, you know you're going to get that back. And I think it's important to go into Comic-Cons. Like, I literally write down, I'll show you, before our Comic-Cons, I write down, like, we will sell out of, like, I will sell out of inventory at Chicago Comic-Con, right? Like, because I think when you put that out there and you believe it, there's something to that too, and that's a big thing for us. I think you have to know you're going to sell it. So it might cost you, but you'll make up the money too.
So you're putting in some money, you're putting in some blood, sweat, and
Correct.
tears,
Yep.
but and lastly, you've got to have that self-affirmation and
Correct.
kind of kick your own ass to get it going.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's been awesome talking to you.
Talking
Thank
to
you for
guys.
taking the
Thanks so
taking
much.
the time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
This is the Get Dead crew.
Yep.
First of all, what do you guys do?
So I am set up here with Mad Monster Party, and we are doing some photo ops for the Gauntlet glove over here, and I am doing special effects.
Thanos' gauntlet.
Yes.
Awesome.
And
Is that Tom Hiddleston? I don't know. Somebody cute and famous. Okay, so. Yes, we love you, Tom! Or whoever you are.
So I'm the Get Dead crew. I do special effects makeup. I do a lot of the photo ops that you'll see for Mad Monster Party, like the ones on the table down here.
Okay.
So I can transform you guys into anything spooky that you want to be for the weekend.
Awesome.
To enhance your cosplay or to enhance your photo op for the weekend.
Okay, very cool. So, what is your favorite part about this particular convention, this East Midwest?
I'm not from the Midwest, and this is my first ACE show, so
Okay.
It's definitely eclectic. It's a wide variety, so there's something here for everyone.
Awesome, very cool. What is the coolest cosplay that you've seen or been a part of so far today?
So there is an actual cosplay of a giant gauntlet walking around.
The gauntlet itself?
Yeah,
Is the,
yeah,
oh,
it's huge. It's weird.
That's cool.
It's awesome. Love it.
Very cool,
They did a
very
great job.
cool. Now, what do you think these conventions do for your business? How do they help you grow?
It helps me connect to my fans, so we have a pretty good base online, so it's a good way to meet people, teach them stuff, and just enhance their overall experience and help them have a better time at the con.
Awesome, cool. Well, that's all I've got for you.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you. Here's a free sticker for you.
Wonderful, I love it. Thank you. So I am here with Dan Doherty.
Yep.
Is that correct?
You got it. Actually,
Wonderful,
that's
wonderful.
a great start. Yeah.
This is my first time meeting you here.
Yep.
We're at East Midwest Comic Con. And Dan, tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm a writer and illustrator of comics. I'm primarily known for my comic series Beardo, which was a slice of life comic strip that ran for about 10 years in newspapers and online. Then I'm also known for my series Touching Evil, which is a supernatural thriller. And then books like Floppy Cop and Cosa Nostra, which are totally different from those first two. And basically I got a pretty wide range of graphic novels, comics, and kids books.
Okay, awesome. Now, being here, do you go to a lot of cons?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite part about East Midwest? What have you enjoyed the most?
Well, it's been really cool to see what I believe is a first-year show, right? I think this is their first time doing this particular show. This well attended. There's a lot of people here, and that helps us out because we want to connect with as many potential new readers and fans as we possibly can. And I just really like the showrunners. I know a few of them, and they've been really, really awesome with making sure that they represent more than just celebrities or whatever. They also have small press. They've got Artist Alley. They've got people selling like vendors. There's a nice mix that you would expect to see at a con here for a first year show. That's really cool. Yeah.
What's the coolest or craziest cosplay you've seen today?
I saw a guy dressed head to toe as the Infinity Gauntlet.
We just talked to someone and they said that was the coolest one they've
I
seen
thought it
too.
was pretty well. What I thought was funny too is that I think he was running at one point, so he was running the gauntlet, and I was like, "That's pretty funny if that's what he's really going for." I wasn't sure because he had, it's like his legs were just kicking in this giant glove, but that was
just really had to get to the restroom.
Yeah, he's got to unleash the yellow gem.
Now, what do you think these conventions do for your business?
Well, a lot of this whole creative process tends to be kind of isolated. You don't get to connect with people in a way that I think is meaningful. It's like the best you can hope for at home is the internet, to reach out. So it's like when you go to a show, you're hoping that people start to look for the things that they like and the creator that made them, the person behind it. And that's probably my favorite part of it, is when you see somebody go, oh, I read your Beardo comic or your Floppy Cop or whatever, and they get to put a face to the property or the thing that they like, right? And then chat with me a little bit. It's nice. It's nice to connect in that way, because we don't do that. Even though I do a lot of shows, you figure like even if I did, I think the most I've done in a year is maybe like 25 shows. So it's like every other weekend. I'm still spending the majority of my time at home working on stuff. So yeah, but I don't do it much. Now I do about like a dozen to 15 maybe, let's say. So it's still a decent amount, but it's nice to it's just nice to connect with human beings about comics and art and whatnot, in a way that's better than just a Facebook like.
That's a perfect answer.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, that's all I got for you, man.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of the convention.
Thanks. Yeah.
Hello everybody, it is Jason again, and I am here with Kyle Nepper from Unshaven Comics, and we are here at the Ace Comic-Con Midwest, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his comic.
I'm here to talk about the Samurnauts. It's about a team of samurai astronauts led by an immortal kung fu monkey defending the Earth from zombie cyborg space pirates. You can see it's a full color print, collects the entire 4-issue miniseries for over 200 pages of story, plus a ton of bonus material. Normally goes for $25, but at shows like this we do it for $20. And when you buy it from us live and in person, you get it signed by all the creators who worked on it.
And are you an independent publisher?
We have been self-publishing for going on 11 years now. So we've been friends since we were kids, started self-publishing right after we got out of college. This is our latest series. You can also find it online at unshavencomics.com.
Now, what brought you down the path of self-publishing?
Well, we started out making our own books right after college. We actually got contracted by a company, Mendoza Publishing, to do a historical fiction title for them. After that, we always had stories that we wanted to tell. We always had ideas of how we wanted to tell stories and what they should look like. And self-publishing gives us the freedom to do that.
Excellent, excellent. And do you find a lot of success at comic conventions, or do you find that more people are buying them online?
I'd say we see certainly more at conventions like this. It gives us a chance to talk to people one-on-one, to tell them the story, to have them pick it up and see it so that it's real, it's in their hands, and it gives them a chance to see what the story is and how they feel about it. And that gives us the best chance with the interaction for them to decide if they want it or not.
Now, can you show me what you were doing that attracted me over here to your booth?
Well, that's because we've got our handy-dandy sign.
And that is how you get people to come talk to you, right there. There's a guy down the road there who's got a sign stuck to his head with a puppy on it.
I have seen that as well. I like to think that our sign game is just a little stronger because we're putting the effort in. I'm holding this up.
It's very professional. Oh, look at that. That's good too. I like it. Are you one of the artists?
He is.
I am, actually.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So, now that you've been in the comic book business, you said for over 10 years, what do you think about it? Is there a future for you guys in this business? Are you going to keep doing it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have plans for 3 more sequels to the series we just wrapped up for the Samurnauts. We've got 3 sequels planned, plus a whole bunch of side projects. So we have every intention. This is how we spend all of our nights, weekends, and holidays. And we have no intention of stopping anytime soon.
Now, what can you say to young artists that might want to get into this game and start doing this? Is it a good time to get into comics, or is it tough?
It's always a good time to find a creative outlet. The best advice I can give, the one that you always hear, is work on something every day. Whether it's writing, whether it's art, practice and do something every day. But honestly, the best advice I can offer is you will very rarely be able to do everything by yourself. Find people that you can trust and rely on to do the work, and keep working together.
Fantastic. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today. It was great to hear about your company.
You're very welcome.
with a comic book legend, Jim Starlin. How's it going?
Doing fine.
Excellent, excellent. Very good to meet you, sir.
Another crazy convention.
Another crazy convention. You do a lot of these, don't you?
This year I have. Most of the time I haven't. I was usually down to about one a year, and now with the movie and that, the promotion things and that, so I did quite a few of them this summer.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of the East Comic Con? Do you think it compares pretty well?
The East one here.
Yeah.
It's been interesting. It's it's a different setting, and it kind of reminds me of a gun show or something
Gun
like
shows.
that. But we're not used to these wide aisles, and it's nice. It's a nice change.
Okay.
Nothing other than geographical. Otherwise, it's all the same. It's the cosplayers, it's the comics, it's the fans, and the personalities. So,
Have you seen any especially good cosplayers today?
I saw Gamora I liked earlier, and there was a giant Infinity Gauntlet walking around who was my favorite.
People keep telling me about him, and I didn't see him anywhere.
He was around here. I threatened to knock him over at one point. Might have scared him off. I can't imagine he could have stayed in that outfit too long. It was enormous. I mean, he was literally about 8 feet tall, and he looked out through one of the gems.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know who are watching the show, you actually created Thanos
And the Infinity Gauntlet.
and the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you see these cosplayers that are dressing up as your characters? I mean, what is that? How does that work in your brain? How do you
The
feel?
whole last 6 months, ever since the movies come out, has been quite surreal. I've been doing a lot of adjusting and thinking of where all this stuff goes. Because, when I created Thanos 40 years ago, he was this throwaway thing in an Iron Man that I kept coming back to, and he was a cult character. A handful of people knew about him, liked him. It wasn't like the X-Men or anything like that. Now he's a superstar, and I find myself as part of his entourage.
He's the biggest badass in the universe
Yeah,
at the moment.
so I've taken some adjusting, but I'm enjoying it, enjoying the ride, having a good time, and my 15 minutes of Andy Warhol fame will eventually evaporate, and I will drift back into bitter obscurity, and life will go on.
You are creating your own comics now. Your creator-owned comics.
I've always done that too, yes.
Okay.
I have Dreadstar coming out next year as a collection. It was a thing I did back in the 80s, and we have like 1,300 pages. We're remastering the coloring on, and it'll be out in some kind of book thing here through Omnibus next year.
That's fantastic.
It should be fun.
Beautiful artwork in here. I love it. And are you getting a good response from people coming up here and checking out your work?
Oh yeah, everybody thinks I can walk on water. What can I tell you? They come up here and I disabuse them of that idea. 15 minutes here and they realize there's nothing serious going on here.
Well, and that being said, though, do you sometimes feel like you are this celebrity god that created these amazing comic book characters? Because you did.
Well, celebrity god is
Maybe
way over the
embellishing a
top.
little bit here.
Because every so often reality hits and you get back to the reality, the actuality that you are just like everybody else. You put your pants on in the morning just like everybody else. I throw them up in the air and jump into them. And, life goes on. I mean, it's not like I can actually do anything. I don't draw anymore, actually. And, it's a phase, and I'm enjoying it. And, it'll go from there. It is strange to see an occasional Gamora pop by with their kids.
I've seen a couple of really, really good Gamoras.
Yeah, they seem to be the popular ones these days, even more so than Thanos from the cosplay. Yeah. I've seen a wide variety of the characters.
Oh yeah. Now, you said that you're not drawing anymore.
No, I had an accident, blew a big hole in my hand with compressed air explosion. So, I haven't drawn in about a year or so. I'm a writer now.
Okay. Okay. So then, when you're writing, do you have a whole team of writers that you're working with, or are you pretty much writing these on your own?
I write my own. I live up in the woods. I don't have people around. I have somebody who occasionally does some scanning for me, but other than that, I'm pretty much a one-man show.
So you're the lonely writer living in the woods that someday Stephen King's going to write a book about you, and it'll be a creepy character that comes in.
Yeah, I'm the
haunts you.
modern-day Hunter Thompson, not in the woods with guns shooting up rocks and trees and stuff like that.
Well, I like your pin here. No, seriously, vote.
Yeah, we're working on making some changes. Hopefully it'll get a little less crazy as we go along. We enjoy the craziness here at the conventions, but outside we want it to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, it has been an interesting couple of years, hasn't it?
Nightmarish is what I call it. But,
Yeah. We don't do politics on our show. Sorry, Katie. I almost got into it. But.
And we're not talking anybody's specific names.
Trump. Yeah.
But other than that,
The worst thing that ever happened to America. But anyhow,
you can edit this later.
yes, we certainly will. So, what is going to be coming up next besides the omnibus? What are you writing right now?
November 13th, the second of the Thanos graphic novels comes out that I'm working on with Alan Davis. And he's done 20 pages of the next one, so, I've written the script to that already, so Marvel and I are not actually working together, but I am doing like edits on it as Alan gets done. There's some novels I'm working on that are in different stages of completion, and once I get done with this circuit in the convention centers, which is the last one, I'll be getting a real hardcover, hard copy publisher that way. That'll be one of the centers of my attention for the next month or so.
Excellent. Well, I only have one more question for you, and it's because a lot of our viewers are young authors and artists that are just getting into the business, be it with small presses or independent publishing or still trying to get traditionally published.
Okay.
What can you tell young artists or authors that are trying to get into this business? What would you say this is a tough time to get into it, or just go balls to the wall? What's your advice?
It's always a tough time to get into any creative endeavor. You just have to keep trying. If you're writing or drawing, read, look at, draw everything. Just don't draw comics or whatever you want to, whatever little niche you want to work into. Read Dickens, read Tolstoy, look at Tiepolo, look at J.W. Turner. Expand what you're doing, because you don't want to do what's there already, because it becomes a watered-down copy of what is going on already. You want to bring in other influences that will expand what that medium is. And basically be self-indulgent and experiment. That's my best advice.
That is great advice. Great advice. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Jim.
it sounds real pompous on my part, doesn't it?
No, it sounds great.
All right.
Sounds great. Have a great day, sir.
Okay.